It's Blazing Hot 91. Let's take a pause. Every Wednesday, we have a segment we call Health, Healing, and Hampton Roads that's sponsored by the Virginia Department of Health. And today's guest, we have Dr. Winifred Bragg. She is the CEO of the Spine and Orthopedic Pain Center here in Norfolk, as well as author and I should say all-around media person, because she's been on, ABC, CBS, Fox, talking about this Bragg factor. So, Dr. Bragg, welcome to the Blazing Hot Morning Show and our segment, Health, Healing, and Hampton Roads.
Thank you for having me, Doug. I appreciate being here.
I thank you so much. Early in the morning, you got to get up and get things going. And, you have a plethora of, subjects we can actually talk about this morning because, with the Spine Center, you can talk about that as well as the Bragg factor that you have going on. So first of all, just to go ahead and talk about this, since COVID-19 has actually been around, have you seen an increase in patients actually coming through the Spine Center?
Well, what has happened with COVID-19, I had to change my practice a little bit and make it a home-based thing so that I did telemedicine. I created a telemedicine aspect of my practice because as African Americans and elderly patients were vulnerable to the COVID virus, so I wanted to be able to decrease the exposure because I have a lot of senior patients. And so I did it home-based using audio-visual things and telephone. And so a lot of people were having a lot of more back pain because they're sitting. I myself had never had back pain before because I was sitting from early in the morning to late in the evening talking to them and not doing what I teach my patients to do, is to get up after you've been sitting an hour or hour and a half, or you would develop back pain. So it has been, a lot of them were getting back pain doing that and doing little chores around their home, cleaning out those old closets with all that repetitive bending and stooping. Mm-hmm. They were getting back pain.
Oh, yeah. How important is the spine to how we function as, human beings?
It is very important. If you ever had back pain and you can't walk from your refrigerator to your bedroom or your kitchen to the bedroom, that's painful. If you've ever been to the grocery store and you see people leaning over their cart and you wonder, they say, if I can just get to the cart. If those people are over 45, 50 years old, those people may have a condition called spinal stenosis. And when they lean over that cart, it makes them feel better. That's why they do that. And yet the trip to the grocery store is so painful. So the spine is very important with what you do. You're driving, you're lifting, you're walking, you're doing your gardening, your household chores, putting your clothes on. When your back hurts, you can't get your socks on, Doug.
Oh, my goodness. So it's real major to make sure you have alignment done on your back, right?
Well, you don't really have to go and have anyone to manipulate and do that alignment, but what is really important is that you stretch your body, that you stretch your hamstrings, that you stretch your quad muscles. And I invite people to go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Winifred Bragg, and you can get free videos and free information. I have a Facebook page for the Spine and Orthopedic Pain Center as well. And I have a lot of information that I like to give people free because that stretching is so important. Lots of times people develop back pain because they get up and say, I'm going to start walking. But before they walk, they never did any of the stretching. Those hamstrings been sitting around for 10 years and haven't been stretched. And so you want to stretch those muscles and do all those warm-ups before you work in your garden. A lot of people are now having back pain because they're at home. Everybody's having a garden this year, and they're out doing gardening work and never did warm up those muscles before they started pulling the weeds.
That sounds like me. That sounds like something I would do. Oh, yes, and important as far as, looking at how we pretty much are approaching ourselves. You were talking about walking. Now, walking is very important with the spine and everything else. Have you started to see that a lot of patients were starting to, walk and wanting to exercise and not really be able to do it or injure themselves because of it?
Yes, they'll injure themselves because of it. Because, like I said, now they're home and they said, well, let me just start walking. But yet they didn't warm the body up and they didn't stretch it, and so they came back with sprains in the back. Their limbs were hurting, and they simply needed to stretch them out. But another thing people do, Doug, not understanding when to use heat and ice. I tell people, if you watch those $1,000,000 athletes on television, what are they doing? Icing. But what do us $5 people? We like heat. And I tell you, when you first develop back pain or injury, use some ice. Ice is really going to help you because that's going to decrease muscle spasm. And if you do that for about 15 minutes, that will really help your injuries of your limbs, your ankles, or your back. So, or your neck pain. You can get neck pain sitting at the computer because your posture is bad. You know, our mothers were smart people, and they told us how to sit. Don't lean over that computer. Sit up straight. If we would only have done what our mothers told us, I wouldn't have a job. But most people didn't listen to Mom.
Oh, my goodness. I tell you, something that's happened in me, I would go to sleep and wake up with, oh, here's a new pain. Oh, where's this coming from?
That's right. Where's it coming from? That's right. And don't be fooled in buying a $6,000 mattress. It's usually things that you need to do that you could stretch out, ice, and strengthen, and you don't really need a $6,000 mattress. I don't have one. So don't let people think that the $6,000 mattress is the key, because we have to take care of our bodies by doing the stretching and strengthening for our backs so that, you know, that's what's going to help us eliminate the pain, not the $6,000 mattress.
Now, question, am I supposed to do something before I go to bed to be able to, you know, mitigate that type of an injury where I'm waking up and I'm having that pain?
Well, it depends upon what kind of pain you have, and that's the key. There's different exercises depending on what your symptoms are. But it's always nice, I tell people, if you get up in the morning, it's what's key, to do those stretches in the morning before you sit here and do this broadcast show, to get your body loose in the morning. If you don't have time, you certainly can do those stretches, some knee chest exercises, some hamstring stretches before you go to bed to kind of limber up things. And then how you sleep. Sometimes you may have to sleep with a pillow under your legs or a pillow between the legs, between the two knees, so you don't sleeping on your side. That is if you have a ruptured disc. So it really depends upon what's going on with you. There are different sleeping positions.
All right, you're listening to Health Healing in Hampton Roads. It's sponsored by the Virginia Department of Health. We are talking with Dr. Winifred Bragg, and she is a MD. She's the CEO of the Spine and Orthopedic Pain Center here in Norfolk, as well as creator of the Bragg Factor. Now, Dr. Bragg, what is the Bragg Factor?
Well, the Bragg Factor obviously came from my name, because when I came to Hampton Roads years ago, people would say, what's your name, Dr. Gregg, Dr. Dragg? And so elderly patients said to me, you mean Bragg like the Army base? So I said Bragg like the Army base. Well, when I was in college, I went to the University of Alabama, and there were like 400 people in the class. Teacher loved to call on me. And I was intimidated speaking before those 400 people. And so I said, oh, my God, but I got to pass a chemistry class. So I had to learn how to fake it until I make it and read until I could answer his questions so that he could leave me alone. And I didn't realize it then, Doug, but that's probably when the Bragg Factor was born, and I didn't know it. But the Bragg Factor, one of the things, it's a system that teaches people how to own and communicate your value. Speaking and communication is clear, is important for your success. How you show up, that first 30 seconds. So I teach people, professionals and everyone, how are you showing up? If you're a salesperson, if you're a doctor, lawyer, student, any type of professional, what are the first words that come out your mouth? What follows that I am is important. How you spend that first 30 seconds with I am, Dr. Winifred Bragg, and what value you bring to others is very important and will determine whether you're successful or a failure. And that's what I do with the Bragg Factor. It's a system, a 5-step system. But one of the key parts, Doug, is teaching people to craft what I call a 30-second brag. That's 30 seconds, a powerful statement that describes your unique characteristics, and so why people would see value in you.
So what exactly should we be focusing in on for the brag factor?
Well, with the brag factor, I tell people to try to write down 3 sentences defining what are some unique qualities about you. What do your friends say about you? What do people say are your good qualities that they like about you? For instance, my family always used to tell me, girl, you talk so much. Well, now, talking so much, now I'm a professional speaker. So obviously people said I talk so much, that was a skill. So what are people saying about you? What is unique? What is the value you bring? Like when I'm telling people about me as Dr. Bragg with the back pain, I tell them that I treat your back pain non-surgically. Because really, out of all the people who have back pain, only 5% of people need back surgery. So my brag factor is Dr. Bragg would be non-surgical treatment. That's unique because people don't want to have surgery for their back. So you need to write a list of what are the skills that you have, and then we can put that together in a powerful statement, 30 seconds, so that when you're networking and you're introducing yourself to people, they get a sense, a powerful, memorable statement about you, so if they need your services, how to come back to you.
Should that have a lot of adjectives in it to describe you as far as your personality as well?
It should. You should use power words about some power words you should be used to describe what you do. That what I tell people to do it result oriented. Say if you were a lawyer. Well, if there are a lot of lawyers, you could say, I'm a lawyer who also understands taxes. And as a result, see if you say, as a result, my clients don't have to pay for as many accounting services because I put that into my practice as a tax lawyer. You follow what I'm saying? So some adjectives that's going to describe what people say about you, but as a result, what are the results people get as a result of working with you?
So pretty much it's that elevator speech that we have to be able to give to sell ourselves to another person.
It is. Other people would call it your value proposition or your elevator speech. I call it your brag because I'm Dr. Bragg. And whenever I do anything with the brag factor, we're going to operate from a position of power. And the other thing, so many people think that it's bad to be bragging. Oh, that's obnoxious. I'm bragging about myself. If you can't say anything good about yourself, who else will? And so many people think of all their negative things. If all you think of is, oh, God, I'm a C student. Oh, my God, I can't sell a house. I'm a salesman. Then your mindset, what you frame yourself up in the morning to say, all you're going to do is have negative things, that's what you're going to do all day long. So you want to frame your things, like you say, with positive adjectives, positive attributes, so that you're focusing toward opportunities and not obstacles throughout the day. Studies have shown that millionaires and billionaires get up in the morning, and they close their eyes, and for 30 seconds, they think about what are their goals for that day. And when they're thinking about their goals, they focus on, today I'm going to close that deal. Today I'm going to sell 10 houses. Today I'm going to sell some insurance. Today I'm going to increase some more clients. They get their mindset on that rather than saying, oh, my God, we're in the midst of COVID. What could I do? COVID is an opportunity that gives us a chance to stop. Wipe off your groceries. Stop. Wipe your table off. But also stop, Doug, and say, let me reevaluate. What are my skills? Right now, the job market is not doing very well. So you need to stop and write down your skills. What is your brag factor? What is unique about you in case you need to pivot in another way? Because we all have to do a little pivot, just like I told you. I had to pivot my practice. My patients couldn't come to the office with me with the stay-home thing. It was best for my safety with my vulnerable populations that they stayed at home. So I had to pivot and create a telemedicine aspect of my practice. So what do you need to do a pivot shift so that you can still make an income and be valuable?
I love what you just said, a pivot shift. Is what you had to actually make going on. That seems like you have to take a moment every morning to meditate. At the beginning of the show, we have a meditation moment where we have to focus in on different things. So that means that you have to meditate in the morning time so that your day will become successful.
Meditate in the morning. So clear, so clear. There's something called, and we'd have to come back another time, but it's called RAS, reticular activating system, and it's in your brain, reticular activating system. And what it actually does, acts like a filter in the brain, much like a water filter, filters out impurities. And what we believe that when you're doing that meditation, we call it visualization, visualizing what you want your day to be about when you're meditating. When you're doing that, you are filtering out those negative things and putting in opportunities rather than obstacles. And there's science to that, because that's what millionaires, billionaires do. If you think about athletes, do it all the time. They do meditation, they do visualization. That's why Michael Jordan was so successful. He could make a shot because he visualized himself hitting the winning goal. And that's what Bragg Factor wants you to do. Visualize hitting the goal so that the Bragg Factor becomes your winning factor and you can win in life.
Ooh, good. This is Health Healing at Hampton Roads. Oh, my goodness. Dr. Bragg, you're hitting it right on the nail. Oh, my. We have a few seconds left in the segment, but definitely you have to come back and share some more power, because that is nothing but power that you've been sharing this morning. Tell everybody how they can reach you with the Bragg Factor.
You can reach me in the Bragg Factor. I have a website, a new website coming up next week. It's called the Bragg Factor. You can also go to my Facebook page now, the Bragg Factor. Like the page. And even the comments, if you have any questions, you need a speaker for any event. I'm doing a lot of virtual seminars and things with Zoom and other virtual situations, virtual kind of conferences now. I also have a new book that's coming out, How to Create Your Bragg Book for a Competitive Job Market. So go back to that Facebook page and look for that, because I'll be putting that out there within the next week or so, and people will get a discount for people who pre-order it, because it's going to tell you, help you find your Bragg Factor so you could be successful. And as it relates to back pain, you can go find me at the Spine Center and go to knockoutpain.com. Knockoutpain.com is the website for the Spine and Orthopedic Pain Center.
Dr. Bragg, I appreciate you coming on Health Healing at Hampton Roads this Wednesday morning. You have definitely made my morning.
Well, thank you so much, Doug, for inviting me. And good morning, Hampton Roads, and hopefully that some of these tips were helpful to you.
There you go. That's Dr. Bragg, Winifred Bragg. She is the CEO of the Spine and Orthopedic Pain Center in Norfolk, Virginia, and creator of the Bragg Factor. It's Health Healing in Hampton Roads on Blazing Hot 91's Blazing Hot Morning Show.